Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another VicaraGaming cast. Tonight, this evening is joining me a friend of mine who also plays with one of the teams I'm in. Welcome, Coddy. Welcome to the cast.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to this game. Obviously, we are moving into the round of 16 with the open bracket of the VicaraGaming tournament. So we will, and this will be a best of one. See who will go through between ElitePlayersInCombat and the Danish Vikings.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some really good DotA action today.
Well, with both teams having, I think, a few stand-ins, I'm really interested to see what they want to pull out here. Because Danish Vikings really have pulled out some really off-the-wall stuff in the past.
Well, hopefully, once we see the first two bans from each team, we'll be able to see what they want to go.
Yeah, when you do see the first two bans, you really can get a feel of what they want to go in most situations. But one of the awesome things about when you come into a new patch, lots of heroes have very changed, and different bans and different picks will develop over time. Like, you look at the Ancient Apparition ban and the Doom, this is very, very reminiscent of 6.8 rather than the 6.81.
Yeah, you do get quite a lot of shifts when a new patch comes out, just purely because, you know, you've got so many characters in this game that if a couple change, it just changes the entire meta.
Yeah, with the Panda ban I really like, and it's the first time that really Lycan has become preeminent really throughout 6.81.
Yeah.
Still has been banned a great deal, so really interested to see what ElitePlayersInCombat really are striving for with this, because a very, very strong hero.
Oh, definitely. I've seen him banned pretty much in every game I've seen as of late. He seems to be a popular pickup. Obviously it wasn't in 6.81, but the buffs to his wolves is my main liking of Lycan. Obviously they get the invisibility earlier, then they get the regen earlier. It's just so powerful.
Yeah, the regen really makes his wolves really, really powerful, especially because you could just solo kill a support because they can't out damage the heal. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it makes him really, really strong in lane as well. Like, obviously he used to be a jungler way back in the day, but he got into one of them positions where you didn't know whether to put. He wasn't strong enough to be on lane, but then he couldn't be a jungler anymore, so he kind of fell out of the meta. So I'm actually quite happy to see him in the meta nowadays, because he's quite a fun character to watch being used.
What's really interesting with the changes that we've had over, like, obviously with 6.81, we are really shifting back to the heroes of TI2. So you've got the Lycan, you've got the Invoker, you've got Nature's Prophet, the Panda's coming back. These heroes are really, and like the Morphling as well. So it's really quite interesting to see how it's all like sort of flipped on itself, and the heroes are really coming back in force.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously, with the new characters coming, it's interesting going back to that comparison with TI2, because obviously you have the main bans and picks like your Invokers and your Lycans and your Morphlings, but then obviously you've got your Centaur who wasn't around back then, so it's quite interesting to see the comparison when you jump from tournament to tournament. It just shows how different the game can become, and then obviously it comes full circle, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I really do like it. And Silencer is really one that has been picked up quite a lot recently, even in our own games which we've been playing in the JDL.
Yeah, we've seen him a lot. I think we saw him in both of our matches today.
Yeah, both of the games we actually played earlier today, he featured in. And there really haven't been too many changes to Silencer. Maybe it's the deterioration of the support of other supports that really focuses him. And now, obviously, now that Smoke isn't revealed by the true sight, it's really a lot easier to get the ganks off with a support like Vengeful Spirit, who has dramatically come back into the sort of forefront of support picks. You can get those early kills and get those early stacks from on the passive of the Glaive of Wisdom, and just really start ramping up that intelligence.
It'll be really interesting to see where they put him at the minute, because obviously got the Lycan on the carry, but I'd like to see if they put him. I'm presuming that's a mid invoker with the centre off lane. So it'd be interesting to see whether they want to put him up against the invoker or play him as a support silencer. I'm not huge on support silencer, but I get why it might be helpful in some situations.
Yeah, support silencer really is. It's a lot more effective. Really popularised by Vanscore over on Empire. Really played that like solidly, and really brought it as a top tier support when played right. Because the last word does an incredible amount of damage. It's 150 damage level 1, discounting the magic resistance. And it's obviously a silence if they cast a spell, otherwise it's a disarm.
Yeah,
it is incredibly strong spell.
That's what I like about last word. It's not above all, it's not the damage and the silence. It's the fact that you put your opponent in a situation where they can either one, wait for it to expire and they get disarmed, which is never good, or you can force them into taking damage earlier, which obviously you can either force ganks around that. It's skills like that puts the opponent in an awkward position that I really like, because you're actually forcing them to do something. You're making it go your way.
Yeah, but obviously forcing a reaction is almost better than having to react yourself.
Exactly. I'm really liking this Mirana pickup. Obviously, she's been picked and banned a lot, and I'm a massive fan of it. I'm presuming that's a carry Mirana. I think.
I would like it to be a carry Mirana in this situation, because they could get a much stronger support to go with the Shadow Shaman and get a much more solid roaming duo.
Yeah, definitely. But I really do like her. In the current meta, I think the Mirana's like incredible. I think she's got a lot to offer. The thing is, she's one of the few characters that can play on every single lane, which is quite well, at least do well on every single lane, should I say? Which is quite interesting.
Yeah, the last one we've really had of them is the Naga.
I think Invoker fits into that category, kind of, as well.
Also, I would go along the lines of that, and actually it will be a lone druid picked up, so we are going to see the Mirana support. So we are going to see these long range arrows.
Yeah, with that shackle, it can really hurt as well. I mean, any kind of skill that locks down the opponent so they can't move at all. It's like your Shadow Shaman's Disrupt and your Bane's Nightmare. Any skill like that makes a Mirana really effective.
Yeah, and especially the level 1 shackle being 2.5 seconds duration. And you can get, sometimes you can get an extremely buggy range. It somehow reaches across the entire lane just to get that shackle off.
Yeah, I've seen that quite a few times, and I don't like it. But it's interesting. I haven't seen a Mirana support at this level of gameplay a lot, really. She's normally picked as the offlaner or the mid.
Yeah,
I've seen.
Really, I think it's mainly due to the fact that she is a very, very potent sort of mid-game damage, and if you get her early levels, she does an amazing amount of damage. If you get level 9 in Mirana, or level 10 if you choose to take your ultimate, you have the potential to burst someone down for 1,000 damage in just a few seconds if you get that max arrow.
And the Storm Spirit, my personal favourite. I'm not sure how I like it against the Invoker pickup. The problem is with the Storm Spirit that I've seen is that to get the maximum amount of farm with Storm Spirit, you have to be inside the creep wave. And against the Invoker, that's never good, because cold snaps and sunstrikes are very, very scary to someone who has to be inside the creep wave. It's like having a melee on mid lane.
I will be interested to see how they will go around this. TBS playing the Storm Spirit up for Danish Vikings has played an amazing Invoker in the past in some of our previous games, and I imagine he knows that the hero of Invoker extremely well, and I think he's got the potential to bring a decent matchup here. So as we run into a pause, I will just quickly introduce the team of Danish Vikings. On the Nature's Prophet, we have Alias. On the Sand King, we have Suspect. On Storm Spirit, we have TBS. On the Lycan, we have Banshee. And standing in on the Silencer, we have Dread Knight. On the flip side, for Elite Players in Combat, we have Sarcastic Sapkio on the Invoker, a sad face on the Marana, Meth onto the Shadow Shaman. I'm not even going to bother with the Centaur.
Yeah, that's a pretty long name.
No, not even going to bother.
Zagad Ninja Jackie towards. I don't know. That's
Okay, Centaur is now Bob.
Yeah, but alright, we'll call him Bob.
And then obviously we will be having the final hero, which is the Lone Druid, and that will be played by So Sad once he is able to reconnect into the game.
I think this tri-lane that they're running, do you reckon they're running tri-lanes, or do you reckon it'll be door lanes? I'm presuming tri-lanes with the silencer.
They're going to all be tri-lanes and just roaming duos, because Lycan just wants his solo levels, Prophet just wants his solo levels, the Centaur wants his levels, as does the Lone Druid, and Lone Druid very, very, very rarely loses to a 1v1 matchup.
Yeah.
So we're going to see the roams coming out of the Sand King and the Silencer, trying to counter the roam potential out of the Marana Shadow Shaman, and off the bat I have to give it to the Silencer Sand King.
Yeah, we were saying this earlier, weren't we? We're like, I think the Silencer works incredibly well on a door lane. I'm not a massive fan personally of him on a tri lane. I just don't think. I think you have to have a support with an amazing amount of CC to play with him, because obviously without that, unless you let the last word expire and get the disarm, he's not really got any hard CC. So it's interesting to see him do the roaming, because obviously Sand King with that Boris Drake is an incredibly effective and reliable spell.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have someone like that to work with.
Especially as we are also going to have the Nature's Prophet, like obviously with that Sprout allowing the Silencer time to move around, get the Glaives of Wisdom off, get that extra bonus damage. The Storm Spirit with the Electrical Vortex. The Lycan if he's able to get off those little blocks.
Yeah. So we're looking for. So it's going to obviously be the Lycan, Sand King, Silencer tri-lane. So when do you reckon think is the best point in which to utilise that door roaming? Because obviously it can change games with the smokes, and obviously, like you said, they are not revealed by True Sight anymore. I think that smokes have just changed the meta as far as supports are concerned, because they can just, like, you used to be able to put True Sight on like high ground and be able to see ganks coming, but now you just got to have that, so mids have to be more wary of their surroundings, and obviously the map awareness also comes into it. Yeah,
definitely. With the smokes coming in, especially with these two like low mobility heroes before they get their levels, it is quite difficult. The gang's potential is really easy to pick up onto the Storm Spirit and the Invoker.
Yeah, Storm Spirit until he hits level 6, and like worth saying that normally once you hit level 6 as a Storm Spirit, you're virtually ungankable. But all it takes is one long arrow from Marana, and it's game over. It doesn't matter whether you have an escape. You're just stunned for too long, because if she hits a nearly max range arrow, it's 5 seconds, and she's going to be the one doing the roaming. So 5 seconds is not necessarily the damage from the arrow that's really, really strong. If you can hit a long arrow, then that 5 seconds feels like forever, and I know this for a fact, it's happened to me. It does feel like an eternity.
Yeah, you are just stuck in that position, going thinking, oh, if I just moved 1 millimeter to the left, I might have been able to dodge that.
Yeah, it's not a nice feeling to have. But it turns characters like Storm Spirit, who should be rather ungankable, into people who, if they get hit by an arrow, it doesn't matter anymore, because everyone gets stunned for the same amount of time, which is rather upsetting when you're in that position.
Yeah, so we are going to see all the heroes move into their respective positions, and we've seen a lot of love for the bottom side of the map, especially with these wards that are going to be coming out of Dread Knight and onto Alias. But I'm wondering if they're looking to do an aggressive tri-lane and leave the Centaur down below.
got 2 wards up on the bottom in the enemy jungle, just scouting that rune and incoming ganks from mid lane, which I quite like. Because an invoker, the problem is that an invoker doesn't necessarily have to be on lane to be incredibly effective, especially if they're going, well, only if they're going exhort, I guess. But those sunstrikes you have to be quite wary of if he goes exhort. See, we've got a smoke upon the Sand King at the start of the game, and a couple of sentries.
Yeah, with the smokes on both sides of the map, I think Mirana has one as well. Yeah, so we are going to see the potential, just trying to get these early ganks off, try and push the Invoker or the Storm Spirit ahead in their lanes.
So we're going to see a couple of...
It's an instant smoke coming out of the Mirana and the Shadow Shaman. They're looking for the Storm Spirit, and if TBS isn't careful, they'll be able to catch him. Is he behind a creep? He is not behind a creep. The arrow will be able to land it.
Oh no.
Oh, nice reactions coming there from TBS. Just out of range from that shackle, and no bulky shackles today. So home and home for TBS.
It's nice like that because obviously they went for the instant smoke, so it forced Mirana to take the instant arrow. Where as support, it's nice, but the leap is always a nice skill to have in case you get in any hairy situations. So she obviously took that arrow with Shadow Shaman taking the shackle as well, and they got nothing out of it.
Yeah, but they are going to rotate into this sort of aggressive tri-lane, and if Mirana is able to throw out an arrow right now, I think that Vikings do have vision on the Mirana right now, so no blind arrow is going to be coming up front. And meanwhile, we do have the Sand King just stacking up the jungle, just going to get his level 2, hopefully off this small camp, and just going to grab that Borrow Strike.
Yeah, that Sandstorm is really good for support Sand King in the jungle. It's like Crystal Maiden in Frostbite. It's like really reliable.
Good to see the harassment coming out of the Invoker onto the Storm Spirit. Just that cold snap. This is really mean harassment.
Yeah.
And really... And the problem with a cross-vex Invoker is you really can't trade too heavily against him because he will always have the greater regen. See, with the regen coming out from those cross orbs.
Yeah, it's really nasty. I've seen Invokers like get 4 levels in Quas. They go out of lane and half health, they come back like 10 seconds later and they're nearly full. It's really annoying.
Or we might... Oh, that was a brilliant arrow onto the Sand King, into the Stomp, and that will be the first blood. Shadow Shaman picking up that kill, and that will be the end of that. Mirana not able to just sort of bring enough damage onto the Silencer.
It's really nice to get that first blood there. I mean, on an aggressive trial, I think the most important thing is that you win your lane. Because if you don't, then you've committed a huge amount of resources to nothing, really.
Yeah, completely agree with you. It is really important to sort of take the advantage, because these supports, if they were on the safe lane, they could be pulling and stacking, getting their levels there, but they really need to get the kills to really push their advantage. Meanwhile, the Lone Druid is really hammering home why Lone Druid is such a good hero in the 1v1 situation. You've got effectively 100 damage to last hit with, so denies are very simple.
Yeah, it's always beneficial having 2 different characters to use. It's just 2 opportunities to last hit and deny, really.
Well, I've seen a little bit of a man fight going on between TBS and Sarcastic in the mid lane. With the bottle now coming out for the Storm Spirit, these trades are going to become a little bit more one-sided.
Yeah, obviously Invoker's one of the characters who doesn't often get a bottle. At least I've never really seen him get a bottle.
Oh, we do see a go onto the Silencer from the Shadow Shaman, but it's not going to be enough, and the wall does block the arrow, so he is going to be home free. Meanwhile, the Centaur really coming in there for the Stomp, but just not close enough.
It's early in the game, but even if you look at the last hits now, I mean, Lone Druid is 10 above.
Really careful onto the Shadow Shaman. Should be able to get this kill onto Lycan. That's a big kill onto Lycan. The Shadow Shaman is going to get away free from the blades from the Silencer, as the Sand King is still just stacking the farming in this jungle. And really clever play coming out of Epic here, getting that forward in there, so the creeps will always be able to see the Sand King if he's sandstorming there.
Oh, that's really smart.
Obviously now, added bonus of blocking the camp now. But he should just transition into these hard camps and start trying to stack and pull them. Meanwhile, we have got the Lycan now as bottom lane, and he is going to be having a really tough time with the entangle. Oh, the entangle does land. And this should be the kill.
That Orb of Venom is like really, really strong. We even saw before Lycan came down, Nature's Prophet was having a huge amount of trouble with that Orb of Venom because it just puts out so much damage, especially on a character like the Bear, who is already very like sustainable on lane.
Yeah, we've already got the level 6 up onto this lone druid, so these levels are going to be coming in hard and fast. Obviously, chose to go for the Tranquils just for that little bit of extra sustain to not fall behind really in that lane, and really surprised at how well this Invoker is performing middle. Like, you really can harass early as the Storm Spirit, but really that level 1 smoke from the Mirana and the Shadow Shaman really put him on edge.
Yeah, it's uneasy, I'd say, because like you never know now with the whole changes to smoke whether a gank is going to come. So I think if nothing, that starting smoke put the idea in Storm Spirit's head that it can happen at any time, because the supports are going to be off lane either way, whether it's harassing Sanking in the jungle or what have you. You've got to be wary of them smokes, because one smoke, like one shackle, and Storm Spirit's dead.
Yeah, and I do really like the rotation that Danish Vikings have pulled off. They're now smoking the Silencer and the Sanking, and they're hopefully trying to grief him. Actually, in the mid lane, Storm Spirit is having a Barney with the Invoker, and he was actually able to dodge the EMP just with that lightning electric. Is it lightning ball? Ball lightning. Close enough.
Lightning.
Actually, the arrow just land onto Nature's Prophet. He's going to be stuck out of this fight, and they might be able to pick him off. Meanwhile, in the back line, they were able to pick up the Shadow Shaman. And is Invoker going to get away? Oh, the Cold Snap is going to be there. He will die anyway, but he will fall himself.
2-for-2 trade right there. That's kind of I think the Epic came ahead there.
Yeah, definitely. Trading a support and a mid for a mid and an off lane, really having the advantage in that play.
Well, Storm Spirit's immediately moved down to bottom. He's getting on Lone Druid.
Yeah, but in that true form, he has so much health, and the Lycan is taking so much damage. He might actually fall here.
Yeah, I think he might.
If they can't kill the Lone Druid quick enough, he's actually going to fall here. Oh, and the entangle, the jump in for the Nature's Prophet will be able to pick him off, and with the tree might actually be able to save his friend the Storm Spirit. Oh, the Ghost Camp getting that slow onto the Invoker might be able to get them away here. The arrow is coming in. It is going to be dodged by both heroes, and that was really, really unlucky play coming out there from Epic. They really rotated well there. Just a nice teleport in from the Fury and the Nature's Prophet, because the Lycan was so close to dying just from the bear, never even being hit by the hero. Just the bear damage was enough to almost kill him.
Sorry about that, I hit the wrong button. Was on cinematic for a while.
So we have rotated the lanes around a little bit. They have moved the Invoker into the bottom lane and just sent the Lone Druid into the mid. And I'm really interested to see what Lone Druid is going. He's really not going for a really like the Radiance Rush. But I would be interested to see if he wants to go into the Maelstrom, into an AC, just get a lot of armor, and then just move into the high attack speed, get more entangles off. Really beneficial up against... the Lycan actually does go down, so this is the reason they wanted that. The Cold Snap does just completely messing with the Lycan.
Yeah, I think it almost gets to the point like it is in mid. Like any melee champion who's put up against Invoker in a one-on-one...
In the mid lane, arrow does land on the Storm Spirit, and the entangle will go.
The ball lightning. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Storm Spirits, it's like so... They just get away in the most awkward of situations sometimes with that ball lightning. It's quite a reliable escape mechanism.
Yeah, very, very close there for the Storm Spirit. Meanwhile, at the bottom you are seeing just the Cold Snap going onto the Lycan, and he's almost down.
Again, and he only just came back onto lane. I mean, that's what I was saying before. If you have a one-on-one lineup with Invoker and a melee champion, Invoker's always going to come out ahead.
Yeah, definitely with the Crossworks build, you can just get that high attack speed, getting the high levels, the high intervals on the console. Actually, we are going to get a double TP in. We do have the Sanking and the Storm Spirit. Are we going to get a big ball line into the... Oh, but there's no detection.
No sentries, no nothing on anyone.
This is a Crossworks Invoker, so the Ghost Walk really is always in the forefront of their mind, and a quick reaction coming out of there from Sarcastic will get him free. But they are just going to try and trade this tower, just get enough damage down here.
Yeah, almost every Quaswex Invoker has that Ghost Walk at the ready.
So they are going to see the Marana being TP'd in. They're just going to go straight onto the Marana, and the center ulti is there, so they're all going to get inside up in conjunction with the Ghost Walk. The deny attempt was there, the arrow is flying in, but they are all in.
And the Hex
going to go down. Oh, a nice ball lining. Where did he have that mana from? I'm sure he'd used some of that before, and he is able to get out, and they did end up getting the tower. The tower kill did go to the Sanking. So the Arcane's now up for Sanking. So very, very shortly we'll be having the Epicenter up for him.
Yeah, just all the TPs there on the bottom lane. They didn't really accomplish anything with it. The Marana almost died as soon as she got there. Forced her to use the ultimate just to get away without dying.
Yeah, that was absolutely massive damage coming out from the Lycan, and it really goes to show that the Lycan really, without that much farm, still can be a very, very big threat.
Yeah, and it just shows 2 rotations out of the Shadow Shaman and the Marana, and they didn't save the tower, so it was wasted time on their part.
Yeah, and now they're just going to rotate into the mid, take this tower. And we are going to see a big storm. The Sanking will fall here. Doesn't have the Burrow Strike, and there's a silence, and he will be able to defend for a return.
All the Hex there on the Storm Spirit.
So the EMP is going to be there. That's going to take a lot of... all the mana's gone from the Storm Spirit. He's not going to be able to jump anywhere. He will fall down to the Starstorm.
I'm not sure I agree with the direction he was ball lining in. I think he should have just got away at that point.
Yeah, with the cold snap was going on to the silencer, and he's actually going to fall down. He's walking too close to the bear, and the Invoker will be able to pick him down with that extra damage. Will they get a tangle onto the Jade? The tangle is there, and they're just going to walk through. The arrow is going through towards the Lycan, but they're not going to be able to pick him off. But that is a triple kill up for the Invoker. And will the Sanking be able to pick off anyone? No, but he might be able to defend this tower. And actually too close. Why is he going in? That's just a tornado into the storm, and he is just going to fall down, smack down from the double edge.
Just
from that ventral.
They just keep on feeding the characters there, just walking in one by one. I'm not sure Epic are complaining.
Yeah, just free gold being thrown at them by Danish Vikings right now.
We've got a lot of farm coming out on this Lone Druid at the minute.
Yeah, what is he actually looking towards? Yeah, 2400, so we'll actually be able to go for that relic, like I was saying. Though at the current stage of the game, I would much prefer the Maelstrom into AC build and just get a high attack speed with the lightning proc. However, against these heroes with their low HP pool, especially the silencer, having that radiance will really, really mess with them. And especially and a jump in from the Centaur. We'll be able to get a nice burst straight from the Sanking into the Epi, and he is going to do massive, massive damage. And the Marana's going to be down as well. Jump in from the Storm Spirit, not enough.
Oh, and then the Niche Prophet with the cold snap as well, and in a tangle, and he's gone down.
And there's going to be a jump back in from the Central, trying to use that ultimate to great effect. They might actually be able to kill the bear on this. No, not enough damage. But meanwhile, the Lycan was just free farming out of the bottom lane, so that was a 4v5 fight, and they really took great advantage there. What an amazing Burrow Strike coming out of the Sanking there. A two-man plus bear Burrow Strike into the Epi was really, really massive for them.
Yeah.
Just instantly took out the Shadow Shaman and the Marana.
That bear's becoming a real problem for DV, because like you said, they're all quite squishy characters. So like one entangle, and you just get so much damage coming out from that bear.
Yeah, but you saw it. You saw it when the Nature's Prophet went in. He got caught by the cold snaggle, and he was absolutely gone. 800 health up onto this Prophet. Really going to be struggling in this situation. Really does need to get out that Necrobrick and that Sheep Stick to get that health. Well, we are getting closer to the Vlads up for this Lycan, and although the Lycan has had a really, really shaky start, not getting a lot of farm at all, it has to be said that Lycan can farm quite quickly with his wolves, can just rotate through the jungle. Once he's got that Vlads, he really can sustain himself quite well.
Oh yeah, definitely. But then you look at the last hits, he's got 36 last hits at the 40.
Really, absolutely massive junk. All of the mana has gone from all these heroes. They do get the tower kill, but there is no mana left for these heroes.
No, if you just look at the last hits graph, it just shows that like Lone Druid's out there at the top at 87, and Lurker's right down there at 40 at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, one of the things to really look at though is how they're taking towers and how they're taking rotations, because they're actually ahead in gold. With that tower kill, they are ahead in gold. As they are taking those rotations, they are getting all this farm. I'm actually going to see a Shadow Blade up for the Nature's Prophet. So he's just going to be going maybe potentially for these courier snipes.
Yeah, they're quite annoying. I mean, once you kill a courier, it's like 2.5 to 3 minutes without any courier, which can be quite. It might not seem like it to some, but it affects the game in such a huge way.
Yeah, I would actually like to see Vikings actually get a ward up onto the secret shop and actually scout out for when the courier comes in for the relic. Actually, they are good. They've already got into the Roshan pit with the Vlad's already up for the Lycan. They are pressuring for this. Actually, Epic are pressuring in the mid lane. They don't actually know this is going on. Must have been a smoke go in from the Lycan. And
they actually don't have vision of the Rosh pit at all.
Actually, they're jumping onto the silencer, so he's going to be a sacrificial lamb in this case. But they are trading this tower for the Roshan, and they're not deciding to scout it.
No, Epic have no vision of Lycan going into that pit. They only have this one down here, which.
Oh, the arrow is going to miss onto the Storm Spirit, and there's another massive injection of gold. You're going to have the tower kill plus the Roshan kill, and now the Lycan's really got a sort of get out of jail free card for whenever he's farming. Actually, the Storm Spirit they might actually be able to pick off the Invoker here. This is a really big sort of mistake from him. Actually, a big jump in from the Centaur. And we'll be able to pick off the Nature's Prophet.
The EMP there, it landed on the Storm Spirit after he came out of Ball Lightning, so he had no mana to jump back in and get that last hit on him, which is really quite disappointing.
Oh, we actually could see a jump onto the Centaur here. He might actually fall, but no, the Moonlight Shadow is going to be there soon enough. Really and nice there isn't any Curse of Silence to be able to pick him off. Meanwhile, okay, we have the relic up for the bear. They need to try and get this Radiance recipe out to him and try and protect it. Yeah. Actually, they're gonna make a go for him again. I think they've got Sanking and the Lycan down here. I think they want to make a go for the Lone Druid before he gets that Radiance. So that's really what you need to do.
Yeah, they've gone on him. I think
and there's the FP.
Oh. But the TP, and he gets out.
Oh, that was absolutely amazingly close. They do actually pick off the Invoker with the Silencer and the Storm Spirit, but even 2v1, the Invoker was able to pick off the Silencer.
While that was going on, the bear went down for low druid there, so quite a bit of gold coming in for Lycan, I think, got the kill.
Yeah, but the thing is, that could have been such a big kill if they were actually able to pick him off. Like, delaying that Radiance by about a minute or so would have been really, really beneficial for Danish Vikings. And we are starting to move towards that Necro Brick. The Lycan is now really starting to get his gold up. I do see have this Storm Spirit just hanging around in that Invis room, just trying to see if he can pick it, get a sneaky pick off anywhere. The thing is, Epic really they know about the Invis room and they knew it happened, and they're already TPing in. They're going for the Lone Druid again.
Oh, beautiful block in there by the bear.
Oh, but there's going to be a massive EMP with a silence. So there's a silence from the Invoker onto the Storm Spirit, and he's going to go down immediately. The Shadow Blade really can be becoming useful there. But in the meanwhile, they pick up the Sand King with the Centaur. But they were losing their tier 2 tower. Lycan was pushing that down, and the Silencer was just getting up a few items. Just have the Arcanes moving into that mechanism. And surprisingly, Epic have actually they've only taken 2 towers, which is quite surprising with the sort of line that they have with the Lone Druid and the Shadow Shaman. They've got the Lone Druid coming back into the mid lane now. They are going to just defend this tier 2, which is already down to half health, just from this like relentless harassment coming out of the Lycan.
Yeah, with this lineup, you really expect more out of in the pushing wise, because Lone Druid is obviously really good at pushing towers.
Yeah, they have made it go onto the Lycan. Into the cold snap will be enough, and then the tornado will be able to pick him off. The Aegis is going to pop there, but now he doesn't have the. Now he won't have his ulti form to get away. The instant Orchid coming there, and there's going to be a big jump in. Oh, and the Burrow Strike does actually miss on the Invoker, but the F is going to be there to pick him off, and the Dust is already there, so the Bear is able just to pick them
he
off.
Could pull Lycan. Oh, yeah, Lycan's going to get picked off.
Actually, they might be able to get the Lone Druid off this. He won't recast Bear because it's really it's not. Actually, he does.
Oh, he will. Oh, because that shackle from Shadow Shaman.
And there's
ultra
this
could be a wipe. This could be a wipe. Oh, Rampage.
Page 4. The Lone Druid right now, and that is a massive injection of gold. And really, already back up to 3,000 for him. He only just finished his Radiance a minute ago, so he's going to be moving really quickly into this Assault Curious, and that's absolutely massive coming out for the Epic. And Danish Vikings are really on the ropes now.
Yeah, that's a huge influx of gold for that Lone Druid, and at the moment he's nearly 3,000 ahead of anyone else on the map in terms of net worth. I mean, that's really scary at this point in the game, actually. He's 11,000 net worth, which is just crazy.
Yeah, and like you saw, let's have a look at the gold graph. Yeah, it's already back in favour of Epic with that Rampage.
Yeah.
Actually, that Rampage actually hasn't come into effect onto the grass yet. Actually, they are making a jump onto the Sanking in the mid. With the Orchid, it's really enough to pick off the Sanking. And there is really no rebuttal coming out of Danish Vikings right now.
Well, there's so many important items coming out for the Epic at the minute. I mean, obviously that Orchid was finished quite a while ago. Which is, against a Storm Spirit, like, the silence is just so incredible, because you obviously can't do anything. You can't escape, you can't attack, you're just kind of stuck in limbo, as it were, where you don't really know what to do.
Yeah, but now with the alacrity on the Bear, he is going to be hitting so hard and so fast. Actually, they do get a jump onto the silencer. He's going to die immediately to the arrow.
That was an incredible arrow out there.
Oh, the crit there from the Lycan. They will be able to actually pick off the Bear, and we actually already have a Bear back up. So they will be able to get him. The Tornado actually does land. It did land just on the creeps. Nice dodge there from the Lycan. Actually, they were able to pick up the Sanking as well during that. The Storm Spirit actually just going out of the bottom lane, killing the Shadow Shaman, who did buy back. But they're just going to jump onto this tier 3 tower with the Alacrity Bear. 130 damage and an incredible amount of attack speed, and they're just going to plow through that tower. Nature's Prophet was actually able to pick off the Mirana with the Nature's Wrath.
Oh, and the Lone Druid is just going to TP to bottom lane now, get some farm.
Actually, they might be able to pick off the Invoker. Do they have any detection? There is no detection available for, and the Ghost Warp movement speed with the Wex is enough to get him away. That incredible movement speed. Close to haste, really, just running away from there. But all in all, the trade wasn't too bad in favour of Danish Vikings. They held on to their racks. They still lost to tier 3, but they did trade it for a tier 2. They got a buyback out of the Shadow Starman, killed him twice, and then they were almost able to. They killed the Bear once, so more gold for the Lycan coming out. Now the level 2 Necro book. Really moving forwards in terms of his farm here.
Yeah, it's that Necro book is really good when it comes to pushing the towers, which in the end, obviously it's an objective-based game more than anything.
Doesn't matter how many kills you got. If you don't kill the throne, you don't win.
Exactly.
So the Lycan's just farming up again, and he's doing actually quite a nice job. The Stormspirit moving towards that BKB, hopefully for him. And there's really been no progression made on this mechanism up on the Silencer. He's got a few stacks on the Glaze of Wisdom, so get a bit more intelligence, but really not enough to really start hammering home the damage. Nature's Prophet, however, is still getting his gold. And that's really what we're looking at. And the damage that comes out, there's going to be a big fight going on right now. The Silencers come out, so there's no engagement, there's no spells coming out of anyone. The Invoker not able to get off any tornadoes, any EMPs. The Centaurs might actually die before he's able to get off anything. Does get off a stomp. The Storm Spirit is still alive. The Sanking going down before he actually was channeling the Epicenter.
And the Storm Spirit going down to that Radiant.
The Radiant Spare going absolutely manic all over these heroes. And I don't think they've got enough damage to be able to pick him off. That's so much health, 2,000 health, and he's just getting absolutely wrecked by this bear. The Radiance is going to just the bear's just taking down.
That's team wipe there.
And there's a full team wipe there for Epic. And there is just the items that are going to be coming out after this fight. There was a full AC on the bear before that fight, which was just completed. Now another 2,500 gold off onto this Lone Druid. And the times are looking rough, really, for Danish Vikings here.
Yeah, they're probably just gonna push on Tiger. They could get this tier 3 quite easily, and even push on to Rax probably. Yeah, they're just gonna take Rax.
Yeah, so there's the melee ranks already down, so that's that for that lane. And look at the damage that the bear is doing.
Oh, that's just crazy. That is.
Even if they kill off, they hit a big jump on from the Storm Spirit, but into the silence from the Invoker, and he's not going to be able to pull off anything else here. So that's a double melee Rax taken down, and the range Rax is being hammered down by this catapult creep at this bottom. Now we've got a full pipe up for the Centaur. We had a full mechanism and a Ghost Scepter up onto the Marana, a Aghanims and plus the Orchid onto the Invoker, and absolutely anything that this Lone Druid wants right now with 4,000 gold in the bank.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous at the minute. And then that bear just up top with the Radiance and the
moving into Skull Basher onto the going to put that Skull Bash onto the bear. So not only you got to worry about entangles, you got to worry about that bash now. And times are really falling hard for Danish Vikings right here. The Lycan really wasn't able to get enough from a nice aggressive tri lane coming out of Epic.
Just tried to push bottom now, get that tower. Any kind of gold influx really at this point.
Yeah, they're definitely just trying to. They're just going to try and trade this tier 2s, but if they take too long, that tier 2 is almost down top.
Yeah, that's at this point it's a tier 2 for a tier 3. If they don't start putting back.
And the Lycan is just. I think the Lycan is ulting just to run to the. The Lycan's ulting just to run to the Roshan pit. This tier 3 is just going to go down. The wards are up, the bear is there, the Alacrity is also there, and this tower is just going to be melted. And this could just be a third melee round.
They could just go for it. Yeah.
We're going to be looking at Mega Creeps very shortly. We're going to see the Epicenter coming out.
Oh, Miss Burst Strike! And Sunken goes down.
Yeah, this really is the end of the road for Danish Vikings right now. Stomp onto the Silencer, and there's the GG call out of the Storm Spirit. And really, really solid play coming out of Epic here. Absolutely amazing game.
Yeah, it was really quite. I think they were as soon as it got to a point, there wasn't really any looking up for Danish Vikings. I mean, they just as soon as the Lone Druid got them permanent items up on the bear, it just got too scary.
Yeah, it really did start falling out of their favour once the Lone Druid did. Right, they got that fight in the mid lane, and Lone Druid was able to get up, I think, a bit extra 600 gold off that.
The big point is when he had just got the Radiance up on his bear, and he still had 3,000 gold left in the bank after one fight in mid. It was just ridiculous.
Right, well, that actually is the end of obviously our cast today. We will be we'll be able to take was a very, very good game. I imagine really solid play coming out of Epic there, and Danish Vikings just not able to hold it out. But thank you very much for casting with me, Cody. It's like if anyone wants to follow what he does, obviously Cody does stream out on his own channel, mainly noob Dota, to say the least.
Yeah, mainly
but
noob Dota.
Obviously they can find you. Well, what do you stream out on, Cody?
Twitch.tv/Coddy12. So that's CODDI 12.
Yeah. So if you want to watch what he does, or just maybe just mock him, really, that's what we all tend to do.
Yeah.
Pop in and see what you can see. Otherwise, we are going to be back on Tuesday and Wednesday with the round of the quarterfinals of the VicaraGaming Open, and all of the teams that win in the next week will be moving on into the Invitational tournament. So